Alright, this is what I don't get. If you see something that you don't like, why would you even entertain it? I don't get it. What is it about that video that I made where I said why I will avoid black women from now on? What is what is with, like, seriously, who just looks at a video and says this title is offensive, so I'm gonna go off on a tangent and be like, why are you uh why are you talking, why are you labeling your video like this? When it's my video, I should have the right to label it any old freaking way I want to. All right, here's the situation. So this, I'm assuming, black woman who I don't know, uh, decided to comment on this video over here, which is, I thought it would show it, but why I will avoid black women from now on. So she says, my point is beyond made, and it's even deeper. Should you actually be married to a woman of color, which you state she's okay with her supposed husband sitting here clowning an entire race due to some of the experiences he's had with some morons? Okay. I'm not clowning an entire race. If you listen to my video, did I talk about the entire race? Or did I talk about the individual who issued the disrespect? See, this is, if black women, if you even still listen to me anymore, this is the issue that I have with you. You assume because you share some pigmentation with another female that somehow, if one is out of line, no one can say anything, because if you say something about that one that's out of line, you're talking about all. I don't get that. My wife doesn't necessarily agree with everything that I say, which I stated later in my responses. But she understands where I'm coming from, because she had to ultimately admit that she had some issues or some running with black women, because she's not necessarily the darkest black woman on earth. So they gave her shit over her hue and over her hair texture. Imagine that. So I responded, clowning how? Clowning how? Because I mentioned the blonde weave that I didn't put on her. Who's clowning who? So far as my wife, I think I just said basically, I already said that. If by entire you mean a vast majority, because she said an entire race of women, race of people, what does it? Entire race. She just said an entire race, clowning entire race. I don't see how I clown my own race by pointing out something that a woman did, and that I'm tying it in not only from that video but from other videos, and even some of the messages I said in that video that she's complaining about. How this is not something that's brand new. This isn't something that just randomly happened. This is the shit that I've been dealing with all my life. So I said, yes, I guess exposing the senseless behaviors of not just one, two, or two and one half of women, but that I have seen over the course of my 36 years of life. The greatest lie is to convince someone that what they see is not true. But because common sense is not so common, a lot of hit dogs bark. It's not all, it's not one, it's a majority. Go to any place where there are a lot of females and you see the same crap. I've been to Detroit, NYC, Boston, Fort Lauderdale, Clearwater, Tampa, Omaha. It's the same shit. But I'm so glad you feel it's okay to clown my experiences. No different than the rest I speak about. So then she responds. She says, the circle of individuals you find yourself surrounded by is quite simply a reflection of yourself. I'm not at all saying that these experiences, as frustrating as they must be, aren't valid. My point is not how most women of color portray themselves. Of course not, because why would you want to stay on what I'm trying to talk about? That's like me making the assumption that all of us are more morbidly obese. Some of us are. Some of us definitely are, while many of us are quite athletic. Maybe back when I was growing up in the '90s, I don't really see that too tough these days. But she said it. So an entire post about why you'd avoid women of color simply due simply due to a few lost individuals is ignorant, as well as completely disrespectful to the women of color that birthed you, raised you, cared for you, married you, as you state, etc. Like, I'm lying about being married, but whatever. So I respond back, I say, this is my confusion with women of color. Why is it that self reflection is not an option? When black women went on TV for 3 decades since I've been alive to talk cash shit about how black men were deadbeats, gay, down low, broke, when I heard this, I thought to myself as I checked off the items on the list, they're not talking about me. What I said was why I will avoid black women, and then explain my situation. One should stop and ask why I would be talking about all and still marry one. Common sense should tell you that I'm not talking about all, or I would have put this in the title why I will avoid all black women. But that excuse me, but that is not what I titled it. So maybe reflecting on what is being said and then thinking if what I'm saying doesn't fit me, I meant to say fit you, then he can't be talking about all because that's what I did when black women went on their black men ain't shit campaign. And can someone tell me that I'm lying? Then I said, I met my wife because I changed the type of black women I was around. So, yes, all the bad ones were a reflection of that which I desired. Now, your logic can also be applied to those same women who shouted black men ain't shit. Then she says, exactly whom you find yourself surrounded with reflects you. Again, I just fucking said that. Hold on, I gotta spit. Pardon me. It's kind of, I'm not necessarily professional, but that was really unprofessional. But anyways, I had a loogie in the back of my throat and I couldn't talk with it no more. So, anyway, she says exactly, whom you find yourself surrounded with reflects you. Again, I've never stated that it was okay for women to go around insulting men either. It works both ways. At least she came to that conclusion. If all you find yourself surrounded by is worthless men, then it's time to stop looking outside and go within. I agree with that. You have to be worthy of someone that's worthy to even pull this sort of person to you. So if you've pulled towards you riffraff, then again, you is where the issue's at. But again, why is it always going back to dating? It's not a fucking dating video. Matter of fact, I thought I replied to that. See, I hate what YouTube does. Like, now the comments are all out of order. Because I could have swore that's what I said. It's not a dating video. And that's when she replied back, my point is beyond made. So I don't know what happened here, but there's a comment that's missing. Maybe, well, let me finish read this and then I'll go try to see if I can find it. So, here's the next set of comments. She says, I in no way ever took this personally. The point you're missing is being another one of these men disrespecting women of color due to your run-ins with numerous individuals. Okay, fellas, black men, how many of you have heard black women talk about how black men ain't shit all because of the dudes that they so-called attracted to themselves? Huh? Even though this is not a fucking dating video, how many of y'all have heard this? See, this is what pisses me off with these women. And this is why, as much as I love when I see an intelligent black woman who actually gets where I'm coming from and understands, I'm not bashing them, I'm just highlighting a serious issue. This is why I just would rather men talk to me. Because they can rationalize logic where women can't. Just happens to be disrespecting the same women that birthed, cared for, and raised you. That is my point. And I never stated it was okay for women of color to make assumptions against men of color either. Well, dear, you kind of did. Because when you can criticize me, but not also criticize someone else, a female, who's doing the same thing, yeah, you're kind of legitimizing the fact that a woman can speak her mind and speak her piece about whatever, but a man can't. Because if a man does, if he talks about this random woman on the street, somehow he's disrespecting the woman who birthed him, raised him, took care of him, whatever. Let me tell you something. I don't know. In fact, I'm gonna let my comments speak for themselves. How does that lady, and this is what I replied, how does that lady in the video I spoke about relate to my mom, whom never told me I speak white? Is it because they are the same are the same hue that makes them related? I don't think you're understanding my point. Just because a woman is black does not mean she automatically gets respect. You earn it. This woman didn't give me birth, nor did she raise me. So to sit here and say because I spoke about this woman whom disrespected me first is somehow the same as me disrespecting any of my female family members is totally hilarious and unbelievable. By that logic, if a black man cuts you off, hits your car, and curses you out, and you respond, you are disrespecting every man whom had a hand in your life. Does that make any damn sense? We make general assumptions every day. Blacks think cops are racist when all cops are not racist, but because of their experiences, they have come to this conclusion. It is the same premise. General statements are just that. It doesn't make them good or evil, but if something happens to you on a consistent basis, you tend to generalize. I'm not mad that women did it. I'm mad at the fact that they don't like it when the shoe is on the other foot. This was her final response. She said, "No, you've missed the entire point. Being the title of your video is where the issue lies. Fellas, did she ever clarify that the title is the issue? Or did she make it seem like what I was saying was the issue? Because I don't ever recall her saying that the title is the issue. She kept saying, why are you saying you want to avoid all women of color? And I never said all. But they love to just make up their own fucking arguments. You've made this video due to your negative experiences with a plethora of individuals, not even saying this is wrong. Well, clearly you are, because you had a problem enough that you commented, and then when I replied back to you and I explained to you why I was doing the video, why I did the video, you still found another reason to find fault. So it was like whack a fucking mole. As you popped one issue up, I hit it down. Then you had another issue. I hit it down. Then you had another issue. I hit it down. You know, we're at the end of the road here, like boys to men. I mean, if the women of color in your life are fine, women of color in your life are fine with this, well then so be it. Yet I'm sure should someone comb through your content, there would be no other group targeted by you besides women of color. Okay, I don't date white women. I don't date Latinas. I don't date any other. I dated two white girls in my entire life. 90%, 95% of the females I've dated in my life were women of color, black women. Though again, since you don't happen to be, was it? Though again, since you don't happen to be unable to make that correlation, and have resorted to did I resort to profanity? Did I? I said one swear word per response. But when you can't defeat logic, you make excuses to bow out. Anyways, this will be enough for me. Though my original point being, had you really avoided all women of color, I you wouldn't be the one that we'd miss. So once you jump ship, we couldn't care less about this. Now, here's the confusing and contradicting thing about the whole entire thing. And that's why I gotta find that other response, because I told her it was like a one-line response where I said this is not a dating video. I'm married to a black woman, and I think I said something else. But anyways, let me just read my final response here, which is kind of damn long. I said, please, profanity. So that's the litmus of which you decide this is enough. Really? I'm not sure where this term "I won't be missed," as if any of y'all, had I been single, would have given me the time of day. What is that? What is that? A knock on my looks or something? And whom else have I've been around in my lifetime most. Women of color, as you say. So, what you're saying makes no sense. But since you came here to make an argument I'm not making, yet I answered, way back when apparently my answer wasn't good enough, I was speaking about this one woman and tied it into something I noticed has happened to me a lot. So, in closing, your issue isn't with the disrespect I encountered, it is the way I titled my video. Interesting. So a title of a video is way more disrespectful than someone who is supposed to be the one that cares about you so much that she decides to insult you in front of mixed company. The same issue that women of color have with black men. Funny how when they disrespected black men in mixed company, black men never went around complaining about how unprotected we were. But it is okay. But it's okay. This will also be my last response because your argument with it being the way I named the video or some other videos doesn't really hold weight because what a lot of you don't know if I learned all this from black is that I learned all this from black women. I need to do my punctuation better. See, my grandmother was the first to call out this behavior. She spoke on this a lot. Other black women, including my mother, whom also agrees with me when I bring it up, when I bring up the blatant disrespect that women of color have for black men. So it's okay. It's okay. Your type likes to turn on the blinders to a much deeper and serious problem: hypocrisy. Because I cannot see you coming to a video if I was a black woman speaking on the dealings with black men or man. That's my issue overall in a nutshell. What is good for the goose is not good for Mother Goose because she deflects and tries to centralize an argument to something that was never made. So I'm sorry you don't like my title and I apologize for my filthy use of words. It was no disrespect to you per se. Now, fellas, because this video is going to be longer than long. Did I use a whole bunch of swear words towards this woman? Did I? No, I did not. Oh, here it goes. This was her first response, and I don't know why it didn't show up. But it says, I respect those worthy of it. Yes. Don't know you, so all I could do is view. From what I've seen, we'd have no issue with permanently releasing you to any other teams. And then I just replied, not a dating video. Plus my wife is black, but let's ignore the real point. Oh, and then she replied again, why are her comments so scattered like this? I'm pretty sure we're not going to be up in arms about your decision. Well, and I said, well, if you fit what I'm saying, what I was talking about, then yes, you are correct. Because if you had any respect for a black man, you wouldn't disrespect him in mixed company. The same thing black women say about black men, hence why I did the video. Now, I don't know this T Santana. I don't know if I guess this person's in agreement with her, whatever, which is weird because I saw another T Santana and like the dude was giving me props or whoever it was, but whatever, man. Yeah, no, it's right here. Yeah. So I don't know if dude was replying to me or whatever. But no offense taken if you agree with who you agree with. But this is the thing that pisses me off with black women the most. They'll come to your video, they'll have an issue, you address their issue, and they'll just keep it's a never ending game of a shell game. You'll find the shell and then they say, wait a minute, let me mix it up again. Then you'll find the shell again and then wait a minute, let me mix it up again. And it's just a never ending pile of shit that keeps going on and on and on because they want to be right. Doesn't matter what you're telling them, they want to be right. So I tell you what, Miss Shelly Reynolds, you could be right. Because it ain't that serious to me, and it don't mean that much to me. It really don't. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I wasn't talking about all black women. But if you fit that description, then it is what it is. I'm not going to argue this shit no fucking more. I know I said that before, but I could not believe this shit here. And of course, I took it and I made content out of it, and I'm sharing it with my fellow black men, because black men, we need to stick together because they stick together. See, the reason why they don't stand up and say, hey, I'm a different type of woman, is because they want that luxury to fall back and be that reprobate type of woman. So they don't want to come out and be too judgmental, because they may want to do that later on in life, or they have already done it and they feel some type of conscious way about it. See, here's the thing. I've been a hoe. I slept with everything that had a hole. Okay? I have no problem admitting that. I have no problems telling you I used to be a male hoe. I used to fuck anything that would let me fuck it. Okay? That's where I get my experiences from. That's why black women make the worst single mothers, because they don't want to share their experiences because they're worried about how they're going to be looked and viewed upon. I don't care how you view me. You can call me fat, ugly, gay, whatever you want to call me, but it cannot and will not change the points that I make. And no one can dispute anything that I say about black women, because they prove it time and time again, especially on this video about why I will avoid black women from now on. I did not say why I will avoid all black women. I did not say that shit. And if you listen to the fucking video, you would know it's not about dating. It's not about dating. So if you feel like you want to release me to another fucking team, fine. If you feel like you're not going to miss me at all, I'm not a valuable black man. I wasn't a valuable black man when I was single. You motherfuckers love the thugs and the gangsters and the motherfuckers who ain't shit. That's who you give your pussy to. You don't give your pussy to somebody who wants to build something with you, but then you want to sit around and complain about how black men ain't doing this, black men ain't stepping up, but you're doing the 5 wide receiver eagle spread to the nigga who just got out of jail and ain't got a job. He's a felon, probably ain't gonna get a job, more probably higher than working at Walmart, if that. But those are the niggas you give the opportunities to. All the chicks that I like and really wanted to be with in high school and in college, they got with niggas who wasn't shit, or niggas who appeared to be shit and then turned out not to be shit. And then once you have that ain't shit niggas kids, then you want to step to dudes like me to help clean up the shit you fucked up. And black men, stop doing it. Stop simping. Leave these black women alone. Seriously. Leave them alone. And I'm talking about the black women that are like this, who have so much shit to say about when a black man expresses his opinion, but has zero shit to say about when black women start expressing their opinion. If you can't be fair and equal, then fuck you and get the fuck off my post. And that goes for anyone else who wants to comment on my video, and in particularly this video. Get the fuck off my video. If you don't like the title, don't fucking comment. I don't care. If you don't like the title, don't comment. I'm out.